Hi, this is Michael Waits recording live from Money 2020 Asia 2025 in Bangkok. Thank you for joining us for this special edition of Insurance for the New Possible, where we discuss the future of finance, technology, and insurance. We are joined today by Chayapat Sakulrompochai, a co-founder and the Chief Commercial Officer of Rabbit Care. Thank you so much for joining us at Money 2020 Asia 2025 and coming to our show. James, how are you doing today?
Thank you for inviting me, Michael. It's a good morning. It's a good day at the Money 2020.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Let's just start off with Rabbit. So Rabbit has evolved from a price comparison site into a broader insurance and financial services product platform. What has been the biggest shift? You're the commercial guy, right? What has been the biggest shift in the commercial strategy over the last few years?
So I think moving from an aggregator platform into brokerage, of course, there's a major change in the commercial terms. We participate more in terms of the revenue stream or the profit streams. So we take the risk, we take more exposures. So we don't just take the referral fees anymore. Right. We now do a profit split between us and the partners. And of course, for us, it means much more opportunities on the upside. There is much higher LTVs, lifetime value.
Lifetime value is really important, yeah?
Yeah, very important. And for the partners as well, that's very important because they are much more invested in us because we are now on the same boat. We have the same goal to basically increase and make sure that we are both profitable.
So what was the genesis of this idea of moving just from being a referral site, right? We have all this traffic coming to our website. We can refer all these different products to saying we should actually be in the brokerage business.
Right.
And was that difficult internally to decide that? Because it's a different type of cohort, a different type of business to build, yeah?
Yeah. Okay, so that's a very good questions, actually.
I told you this before we started recording. I've been watching the growth of Rabbit since its inception, and I'm just super curious.
Right.
Go ahead.
So I think the idea of being the broker has always been there in the beginning, right?
Okay.
So we understood that the lifetime values of the customers is much higher when you're in charge of the sales process itself, right? But we started off an aggregator is because we are trying to kind of balance between the growth expectations and what we actually want to become eventually in terms of creating a sustainable brand and revenue stream and profit stream as well.
Right.
So how does it work, right?
Right.
So as you know, in order for us to be selling efficiently in the market like the other brokers are doing, right?
Right.
We need to build a brand. We need to build a service. And like our name suggests, it stems from the word care, right?
Care, yeah.
Care. So in order to be competitive in the market, you can dump the price. You can be very competitive in terms of pricing. But of course, that's not sustainable. On the other hand, we believe that providing care value, care that the customers can claim, care that the customers is reminded that policies is expiring, care that they're missing days that they don't have a car because the car is in the garage. Right. Together with a competitive price, a reasonable competitive discount, we can penetrate the market. But that takes time. It takes investment, right? And of course, when we raise money, our shareholder expect us to grow every year.
Right. But almost exponentially every year, right?
Exactly.
It's not like one-time growth or two-time growth.
Right. So if you're coming from very small revenue streams
At the beginning,
in the beginning, right?
For sure.
So you need other revenue stream, other business vertical to kind of balance that.
Right.
To help us get us there to the ultimate goal that we are in now, right?
Right. So you've actually segued perfectly into another question I have, right? Were you finished?
Yeah, please.
So how do you balance this idea of like short-term growth with long-term brand building and trust building, right? Because that's so key. And how do you balance the expectations of your investors with the knowledge? You definitely know we can move fast, but we don't want to get into an accident, right? I always say like it's better to get there 30 minutes late than rush and get into an accident on the way there and then end up being 5 hours later, a day late. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you balance that?
If you take the case that I just mentioned to you, right? The idea is very simple. What's the goal that we want to be in the next 5 to 10 years, right? We reverse it back financially, based on calculations, how much money do we need to invest to become competitive in the market itself, right? So for that period amount of time, we know exactly how much money we need to invest, how much top line we need to grow. I mean, speaking to them, you will know already what kind of expectations
They have.
what kind of growth they expect year on year, right?
Right.
So from there, you know that that's the gap in terms of financial gap that you actually have to meet. From there, that's where the idea came from, right? We need to build an acquisition channel to get people in. But how do you make money in the process?
Right. Now that I have them here,
Correct.
how do I get them to pay
Right.
us?
So referral. That's why we arrived with, right? So we work with few partners. We refer customers. We get paid one time off. Of course, when we're getting paid one time off, we don't get paid every single year.
Right.
They paid everything up front to us.
Okay.
Which means that one time payment is higher.
Right.
So we use that to fill in the gap.
Got it. You've said this phrase a couple of times. We wanted to decide what we wanted to become. But Rabbit is not just one company, right? We can talk about what Rabbit Care wants to become first, but what does Rabbit itself want to become, the larger piece as well?
So Rabbit itself is a household brand.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it really is.
Right.
It's been amazing,
It
like
is.
how,
It is.
because
Yeah.
I think the card helps,
Correct.
because tons of people carry the card. I used to carry a card as well,
Yeah.
and everybody I know carries one. So just the everyday people swiping, paying,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. It's really cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
But what do you want to become?
So, I mean, the strategy for Rabbit, I mean, BTS kind of builds Rabbit brand into a household brand. That's the whole idea. in the
Yeah, it's
first place,
amazing,
right?
actually.
Now, they're in charge of moving people from one place to another place, door to door,
Yeah,
right? And in the process, they broaden the aspect of what do people need to get one place to one place,
right.
right? So providing transportation, that's of course
One
what
thing, yeah.
is one thing, right?
Right.
They have Turtle Shop nowadays, which is the
I was going to ask, is that
Yeah.
also owned by the BTS?
supermarket,
I like it.
right? Because people traveling, people needs to eat, people needs to drink.
Drink,
right?
yep.
People have the risk of accidents when they're traveling as well,
Yeah.
and that's why we come in as an insurance provider. as
So
a
can you
broker.
use your Rabbit card to buy insurance? Because you can put money on the card, right?
So at the moment, no.
Okay, but I feel like it's a good question.
Yeah, it is a good question. So I think this is something that we have always been exploring at the moment, right?
Right.
And in the past, we even created some PAs or personal accident insurance
Okay.
embedded into the whole super app of Rabbit card.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's actually give access to the BTS customers as well.
I like it. Do you ever think about turning the Rabbit card into a credit card as well?
You
You can say no. You can say, I'm not telling you, but I just thought, because you're already there. You talked
Right.
before about brand and trust, right?
Yeah.
And I always find that once people start to trust you in one place, particularly where money's involved, and there's money in insurance, there's money in the brokerage, there's money in referral, there's money on the card, that there are other ways to expand into other things. This is
Right.
just something off the top of my head. It wasn't
Right,
written down.
right.
Yeah, I'm just curious the
Okay.
way you think about this.
So if you follow the news, you might be aware that BTS BTS is actually having shares in the whole digital banking license.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that.
So I think it would be interesting in the next few years to see how that evolves into a physical plan.
Got
Yeah.
it. How do you, as a group, think about like customer education? Do you know what I mean? Like financial literacy or financial inclusion and stuff like that. Even just the literacy side of it, right? Because now that the BTS, and you probably know this better than most people, but I get the sense that the BTS has expanded massively in the past like 3 or 4 years. Where like new stations popping up, new lines popping up. There's a lot more ridership. So it means that more people are now going to be exposed to the card, to the products and everything else that run through Rabbit, right? So how do you educate them about what all these products are? How do you think about it?
So maybe let me speak from Rabbit Care point of view then.
Please,
right?
please, please.
So Thailand itself, I mean, if you look at the insurance market penetrations
Yep.
compared to the other countries around Southeast Asia, right?
Right.
It's actually quite high.
Yeah, there are 73 licenses.
Right.
Right. The
So-
OIC is giving out 73. There's a lot
Right.
of insurance.
Exactly. So the surprising fact is that people actually they don't really see insurance as a long-term investment
Interesting.
tools, right? They see it as some kind of risk-averse risk-averse tools. Let's put it that way, right?
Okay.
Which is very different from Europe or the US, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Right. And this is purely because, I think the understanding in terms of the financial tools or the insurance products, not yet there.
Right.
Us as a company, right, we see this every day. Outside people probably doesn't know, but people don't really understand insurance that much.
Right. So how do we fix that, right?
Right. So it starts from us, right?
Yeah.
It starts from us. So maybe let me take one step back, right?
Please.
For us, our telesales need to talk to the customers.
Your
telesales.
Yeah, telesales.
Right.
Yep.
They need to explain what the product is.
Right.
The longer it takes to explain, the less efficient they are.
Sure. That's true for anything.
Right.
Essentially, right?
Correct. It hurts us. Right?
Yeah.
Right. So what do? So we try to educate them before they come into the telesales.
Right. Before they get to telesales.
Correct.
So where do you do that?
Our platform itself. So that's why Rabbit Care exists. So Rabbit Care is not just a comparison platform; it's a content platform as well.
Okay, talk to me more about content.
Yeah. So we actually have a lot of contents about financial insurances, home insurance, credit cards, car insurances, and you can be surprising. It's quite surprising how much we can actually educate the customers from there, right? These kind of what is the difference between type 1 and non-type 1 insurances, motor insurances?
Yeah.
You have a lot of viewers coming in.
I was going to ask you, so do you do the content creation internally?
Yeah, correct. We do it internally.
So you do. And and how do you know what you think people want to know about?
It's actually, it's more like asking ourselves, right? So car insurance, health insurance, life insurance.
Right.
Who are the market, who are actually the customers?
Yeah, people that own a car, people that buy a car.
Us, right?
Yeah.
Employees.
Everybody.
Everybody
Really should have
Correct.
some kind of health insurance.
Correct. So asking our own employees, asking people in the community itself who are
Right.
actually buying these products,
Right.
we know the insights already. And if you ask them, do you actually understand the difference between brokers and insurance? You'll be surprised that they don't really
They don't know
understand
the difference. Right, but again, how could they if they haven't interacted with them?
Correct.
It's just two words that they've heard
Correct.
or seen a commercial for, but how would they know, right?
Correct. So by running these kind of contents, boosting it on our content, social media, social platform,
Right.
people will be interested because, this is something that they don't understand.
Right. Do you see enough traffic on the site that you think people definitely want more of this information?
We have a lot of traffic coming into our sites.
Right.
Almost a million unique visitors.
A million weekly users.
Per month, sorry.
Monthly users.
Yeah,
Still a
correct.
lot of people.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot
Yeah.
of people, right? And
Wow.
yeah. So we see a lot of people coming in, reading different kind of contents, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So what do you think makes the Thai consumer, because you said earlier, like it's different here. What makes the Thai consumer different than people like in Europe or in the United States? That because you were making that comparison.
Right. Okay. So I think that there are different factors, different ways, right?
Right.
To describe this. Maybe first of all, behavior.
Tell me.
Thai consumer are very family, community oriented,
Very much so.
right? In terms of making decisions, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Right. If for instance, if my father, right, if he buys from life insurance from company A, I will end up probably buying from a company A.
Because you'll probably all do it together.
Correct. Right.
Right. Hey, look, we better buy our life insurance.
Correct.
Right. Let's do it together.
Correct. Which is very different from Europe or the US, right?
Yeah, I don't care who my parents' provider is. So I'll
It's
just
very
get it on my own.
individualistic, right?
Very.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. I didn't think
Yeah.
about that. So go ahead. What
Yeah.
else?
And just want to add in, this is actually the real reasons, actually why the whole face-to-face or personal touch or the face-to-face touch works very well, which is another difference, right, compared to other markets in Asia.
So how much sort of digital transformation is actually happening? And where is it most effective? Just because you brought this up, and I'll tell you my own personal experience. I bought health insurance in Thailand for the first time, wow, it must be like 3 years ago now. And I met with an agent, but that agent had an iPad or a tablet with her. We went through the whole thing there, and we signed up for everything there. But I wouldn't have done it on my own. And I'm an early adopter of tech, right? So it's not my age or anything else like that. I'm just curious, like, where is it really happening and where should it happen?
Yeah.
Just based on your own experiences and the feedback you get from your family, your employees, and all this other stuff, yeah?
Maybe let me start by asking you
Ask me anything.
these questions, right? Do you know what's the online proportions of the total premiums for insurance for GI last year.
For general insurance in Thailand.
Yeah.
Actually,
Sorry. Maybe easier for life insurance
for life insurance, the online,
online.
I don't know. I would guess 13%.
0.16%.
Oh my God. I was a factor of 100 off.
Right. So I think that figure already speaks for itself, right? I think the online proportion is very, very small.
So people are coming to Rabbit Care, finding out a ton of information, and then calling a broker and meeting them face to face.
They basically call
Or
us.
the telesales, yeah?
They call us and they speak to our advisors or the telesales, and
Right.
they basically decided to purchase based on that calls, right? And that's a personal touch that Thai people needs, right?
For sure.
They either go to an offline agent to see physical face to face, or
Right,
they
right,
call
right.
somebody to talk to somebody.
Right.
But the online sales itself is very small.
That's weird. That makes me very Thai in a way, right? Because there was no way I was buying my health insurance online.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you're looking at the digital transformations in this industry,
Right.
what has been digitalized? So it's more like the acquisition channels,
For sure.
right? So,
For sure.
for instance, 99% of our customers are coming pure from online, right?
Yeah.
They drop their interest, they come in, they see our contents, they compare some products, they drop their interest, their personal contact informations
Right.
for us online, all online. But then our offline agents need to reach out to them. So that's actually why it has been digitalized.
Super interesting. Can I ask you this? My impression of Rabbit, again, as a group, is that they're just really good at customer acquisition. Like, really good. Why? Like, what makes you guys so good at this?
Right. So
And let me just put you this way. I'll tell you why I think I know this. I'm on the board of directors of an online trading company here. I don't want to say the name of it, but they were partnering with you because of your ability to do customer acquisition, and it was a very successful campaign. Why are you so good at this?
So I think it's a combination of things, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, brand is
Yep.
very important here in Thailand, right? It's actually another difference or major difference between the consumer here in Thailand,
Thailand.
and the other countries. Established brand matters,
Yeah, for sure.
right? Having the name Rabbit actually boosts a lot of confidence.
I love it.
in the market, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's number one. Number two, actually, we are one of the few first online brands, online brokers that actually went to online.
One of the earliest, for sure.
Correct. And our presence is there, right? Our presence is still there.
Right.
If you go, if you search insurance or car insurance, you will see us, our presence, our brand
Everywhere, yeah.
popping up there, right? If you open your Facebook, you
There.
will see us there, right? So our presence is pretty much there.
You've done a great job at that, for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Can I ask you this too? How do you look at this? So Thailand's population, I think like most countries' populations, are very concentrated in cities, right? Whether it's Bangkok, Phuket, Khon Kaen, Chiang Mai, places that we all know. But how do you handle then this sort of urban rural divide where there is a significant portion of the population that's still quite rural? Is
Right.
that still remain a big opportunity for you guys?
Right. So, so I think a moment ago we were discussing the difference between Thailand customers and people outside of Thailand.
Right, people
So
outside Thailand, yeah.
difference between rural and urban is much stronger. For instance, urban is much more, at least between the difference between the urban areas and rural areas. Customers are more individualistic in the urban areas.
In the urban areas, yeah, for
Right.
sure.
While in rural areas, it's completely community-oriented, family-oriented. It's even more than the urban area.
Yeah, almost to a fault, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Right. Which means that it goes back to what is required to give them the confidence to purchase or convert, right? So this is actually why channel of acquisitions is very important.
I like it.
So online or telesales would play a bigger roles in, say, urban areas, part of rural areas, while the majority of the rural areas, offline agency, face-to-face, is still the majority of the channel.
Right. That's interesting. So how do you build these partnerships with these, and I'll let you go after this, but I'm curious how you go out into the rural areas and find the right partners, and even find the right partners in the big cities as well, or even with other companies with whom you partner. What does an ideal partnership look like to you?
Right. So partner for us, number one, I think they need to understand us first, right? Because I mean, to be honest, we are not the traditional brokers that you normally see in the market, right? We are sort of aggregator on the front end, brokers on the back ends with a very digitalized foundations, right? And of course, there will be some partners who doesn't understand us at all,
Right.
right? They don't really have the digital foundations to work with us or integrate with us. That's number one. Number two, we have a lot of strong partners who have been working, don't get me wrong, they are extraordinary. And they have been very patient with us, by the way.
For sure.
Because I mean, it's two ways.
And nothing
right?
happens overnight, right? So again, I said this during my last recording, but like, you don't have to marry the first person you dance with, right? So you want to date a little bit and figure out how it works before you decide we're definitely going to do this.
Right.
That's fair both ways, I think. Yeah? Go ahead.
So they need to understand us. They need to be patient as well. They need to know that nothing happens overnight.
Yeah.
Right. The money that you are throwing in with us is not going to get the returns in the next 2 months.
No, it's the same conversation we had about investors, customer long-term value. It's the same principle, right?
Right.
Go ahead.
So this actually kind of restrict the number of players or number of partners that we can work with.
For sure.
Many partners, they don't understand that it takes time. I think they understand, but the problem is the situation that they're in may probably restrict them.
Right.
To wait for that kind of returns, right?
They need a faster return.
Exactly.
So they run to you guys and go, how can we do this? And you're like, slow down.
Exactly.
We want to do it, but this is going to take time.
Exactly. So the ideal partners are people who understands us, who understand the concept of, and who can wait, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
James, this has been really awesome. I'm going to let you go. Chayapat Sakulrompochai, a co-founder and the CCO of Rabbit Care. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I did. This was really great. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Likewise.